Welcome back to Automo and welcome back to the deep dive.
Great to be back.
Today, we're getting into a car that, well, Carbuzz called it sports car perfection. We're talking about the 2024 Porsche 911 GT3.
Ah, the GT3, always a good topic.
Exactly. So our mission today, same as always, take a great source, this time that Carbuzz review, pull out the key insights, the really important stuff. We want to help you understand what makes this car tick, why it's considered so special,
And it really does occupy a special spot, doesn't it? I mean, think about the car world right now. Turbos everywhere, automatics are the norm, electrification is coming on strong. And then you have the GT3. It's sort of defiantly old school in the best way. It's all about that pure driving feel.
Defiant purity. I like that. Okay, so let's unpack that. When we talk about the 2024 GT3, how is it different from, say, a standard 911 these days? The source mentions most are turbocharged automatics now.
Yeah, that's the key difference, really. The absolute core of the GT3 is its engine. It's a high-revving, naturally aspirated flat six, no turbos, just pure linear power, right up to a screaming 9,000 RPM redline.
9,000.
9,000. And crucially, you can still get it with a manual gearbox, a proper stick shift.
Oh, these enthusiasts love that.
Oh, absolutely. It speaks right to that traditionalist Porsche experience. The sound, the engagement, rowing your own gears.
Yeah.
It's very visceral. And if you look at where it sits in the lineup, it's kind of perfectly placed. It's more focused than a standard 911, obviously, but not quite as, let's say, extreme as the GT3 RS.
Right. The RS is the really hardcore one.
The RS gets, what, 518 horsepower?
Yeah.
But it's PDK only, so automatic only. And the ride is stiff, like track day stiff. Plus, it costs a good 60 grand more. The GT3, though, it balances track capability with, let's say, some street usability. It hits a real sweet spot.
Okay, that makes sense. So for 2024, what's actually new? Did they mess with the formula much?
Not drastically, no. The core GT3 goodness is still there. But there are a couple of practical updates inside.
Okay.
The infotainment system got an upgrade. They've added Spotify integration, which is nice. And finally, wireless Android Auto joins wireless Apple CarPlay.
Ah, good updates for daily driving, surprisingly.
Right. For those times you aren't hitting apexes. But there's also the price.
Yeah, I saw that. It's gone up a bit.
More than a bit. Base MSRP is now almost $183,000. That's like over $13,000 more than last year's model.
Wow.
And then you've got the destination fee, another $650 or so.
Mhm.
And in the U.S., don't forget the gas guzzler tax. That's another $1,700 because, well, it drinks fuel.
Huh, yeah, I bet. Okay, but let's get to the juicy part. The performance. This is where the GT3 legend really lives, right?
This is the heart of it.
So that engine, naturally aspirated 4.0-liter flat six, makes 502 horsepower and 346 pound-feet of torque.
Pretty healthy numbers. But it's how it makes the power.
Yeah.
Revving to 9,000 RPM, the sound, the feel, it's just special.
And it's still purely rear-wheel drive.
Absolutely. RWD only. Keeps it pure, keeps it challenging, keeps it fun.
And transmission choices. You mentioned the manual, but there's also the PDK automatic.
Correct. You've got Porsche's 7-speed PDK, their dual-clutch auto, super fast shifts, really optimized for lap times, or as a no-cost option, the 6-speed manual, which even has an auto blip function for perfect downshifts, though you can turn that off if you want to heel and toe yourself.
Nice. And the performance numbers are interesting depending on the gearbox. PDK does 0-60 in 3.2 seconds, top speed 197 miles per hour.
Blisteringly quick.
But the manual is slower to 60, takes 3.7 seconds, but its top speed is actually higher at 199 miles per hour.
Isn't that kind of weird?
It is fascinating, isn't it? The PDK is all about acceleration efficiency, getting off the line. The manual, maybe slightly different gearing, maybe just less driveline complexity, letting it stretch its legs a bit more at the very top end. But really, I think it just speaks to the character. PDK for raw speed, manual for that ultimate engagement, even if it costs you a few tenths. Yeah, makes sense. Okay, so raw power is one thing, but handling is where Porsche really shines. How does the GT3 achieve that plugged-in feel the review mentions?
Well, a big part of it is the front suspension. Unlike the regular 911s that use McPherson struts up front, the GT3 gets a bespoke double wishbone setup, unequal length control arms.
That's a pretty serious upgrade, like race car stuff.
Pretty much derived from their race cars, yeah. It keeps the tire contact patch much more consistent during hard cornering, gives you incredible front-end grip and precision. You just point it, and it goes. Then you add Porsche Active Suspension Management, PASM, which constantly adjusts the dampers, and Porsche Torque Vectoring Plus, the PTV Plus way, which helps rotate the car using the rear differential and brakes.
So it's a whole suite of tech working together.
Exactly. The review calls it a symphony orchestra, which feels about right. Everything works in harmony, you feel totally connected. But here's the kicker. Despite all that track focus, the adaptive dampers mean the ride is actually okay for daily use.
Really? Not bone-jarring?
No, the review says perfectly acceptable ride quality. It contrasts it directly with the GT3 RS, which it calls stiff-legged, and basically track only.
So the regular GT3 is the one you could conceivably drive every day?
Conceivably, yes. Maybe not your only car, but you could run errands in it without shattering your spine, which is pretty remarkable for something this capable.
So it's this blend. Raw power, sophisticated handling, but not too punishing. Is that the magic formula? Does it risk being not hardcore enough for some?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? I think for most people looking at a GT3, that balance is the magic. It's incredibly sharp, incredibly rewarding, but it doesn't beat you up. It means you can enjoy that amazing engine and chassis more often, not just on perfect track days. It's accessible high performance.
Okay, let's step inside. The cabin 911, familiar but racier, the review says. What does that mean in practice?
Well, first thing you notice is no back seats.
Right, weight saving for the track.
Exactly. It immediately tells you this car has a specific mission. Material-wise, there's a lot of race tex, which is Porsche's sort of faux suede, feels grippy, looks sporty, lots of contrast stitching options.
And the steering wheel.
You get the GT Sport steering wheel, nice and focused. Of course, you can option up like crazy with leather, aluminum, carbon fiber, make it feel really premium. The layout is classic modern 911, big analog tachometer right in the middle where it should be.
I see those revs climb to 9K.
Precisely, flanked by digital screens you can configure, and then the central 10.9-inch touchscreen for infotainment.
You mentioned it's a two-seater, but how practical is it really? Can you actually carry anything?
Surprisingly, yes. Okay, you only have 2 seats, but the front passengers have plenty of room. And that space where the rear seats would be, it's actually quite useful for bags, jackets, that kind of stuff.
Oh, the parcel shelf.
Kind of a big one, yeah. Combine that with the front trunk, which has 4.6 cubic feet. It's actually decently practical for a weekend trip for 2.
More practical than you might think for a track weapon.
Definitely. Storage inside isn't huge. Glove box, door pockets, a small bin. The cup holder situation is a bit funny with the manual, though.
Yeah.
The main one is behind the shifter, so you tend to knock your drink when you change gears. But luckily, there's another one that pops out of the dash on the passenger side. Problem solved, mostly.
Good old German engineering quirks. What about the tech? Infotainment, features.
It's pretty well equipped. That 10.9-inch screen has navigation with real-time traffic, voice control, the wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto we mentioned, Sirius XM, USB ports. You also get Wi-Fi, Porsche connected services, and that Track Precision app is cool if you actually take it to the track. Lets you log data, analyze laps.
Sounds comprehensive. Audio.
Standard is an 8-speaker system, probably fine given the engine noise you really want to hear, but you can upgrade to a 12-speaker Bose surround system if you want better tunes.
And customization. Porsche is famous for its options list, right?
Oh boy, are they ever. This is where you can really go wild and make the GT3 your own. Seating, for example. Standard seats are heated Sport Seats Plus, good seats, but you can get full-on carbon fiber bucket seats. Super light, super supportive, maybe not for everyone, but very cool. Or 18-way power adaptive sports seats for more comfort and adjustment. And get this, they even offer a customizable 3D printed body form driver's bucket seat tailored literally to you, comes in 6 colors.
No, that's next level.
And the interior customization, just endless. Deviated stitching in tons of colors, trim inlays, aluminum, carbon fiber, even body color.
Yeah.
Extended leather, extended race tex, seatbelts in like 6 different colors.
Sounds expensive.
It can be. That exclusive manufacturer leather interior package the review mentions wraps almost everything in leather with fancy stitching. That's over 15 grand right there.
Yikes. Okay, so you can personalize it endlessly. Now, you mentioned trims earlier. For 2024, there's the regular GT3 and the GT3 Touring package, and they cost the same.
Exactly the same base MSRP, $182,900. Which is interesting. The main difference is visual and philosophical, really.
How so?
The standard GT3 is the one with the massive fixed rear wing on those swan neck supports. It screams race car for the road. Very aggressive.
The big-winged racer, as we called it.
Right. The GT3 Touring It loses that big wing.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, it gets a smaller, automatically deploying rear spoiler like on other 911s. It also gets a body color front fascia instead of the black plastic, and some silver trim details like the exhaust tips. It's meant to be more understated.
Understated potency. So who buys which?
Good question. The review suggests the Stoner GT3 is for the authentic GT3 buyer, someone who wants the full experience, wing and all. They embrace the look.
They want people to know it's a GT3.
Pretty much. The Touring is for the person who wants all the mechanical thrills, the engine, the suspension, the transmission choice, but in a slightly more subtle package, maybe fly under the radar a bit more. The source makes a fair point. If you really want subtle, maybe a regular turbocharged 911 Carrera is a better fit anyway. The Touring is still pretty potent looking.
True. Okay, any other design bits worth mentioning? Wheels, lights.
Yeah, standard wheels are staggered, 20-inch front, 21-inch rear alloys. Look great. You can get them in different finishes like satin gold or black. LED headlights are standard, but you can upgrade to fancier dynamic or matrix LEDs. And lots of carbon fiber options, mirror caps, roof panel, window triangles. Save a little weight, add some visual pop.
And decals?
Yep, you can get motorsport decal sets, Porsche logos along the side, more ways to personalize.
All right, let's broaden the context a bit. Fuel economy, you hinted at it.
Ooh,
it's bad.
It's bad.
Right.
Terrible is the word the review used, and it's probably accurate. EPA numbers are like 14 city, 18 highway for the PDK Auto, so 610 combined.
In the manual.
Slightly different, 13 city, 19 highway, 15 combined. Interestingly, that combined figure is actually 1 mpg better than a V10 Huracan or a Corvette Z06. So it's bad, but maybe not the worst in its class.
Small victories. How far can you go on a tank?
Standard tank is 16.9 gallons, so maybe 270 miles range with the Auto, roughly. But there's a cheap option, only $230 for a bigger 23.7-gallon tank. That adds another 100 miles or so of range. Probably a worthwhile upgrade.
Definitely seems worth it. Okay, what about safety? Anything stand out?
Well, first off, no official crash test ratings from NHTSA or IIHS. That's typical for cars this expensive and low volume. Structurally, it should be very safe, like any modern Porsche. But the really notable thing is the lack of driver assists. It's very deliberate. You get standard cruise control and a backup camera. That's about it for standard assists. You have to pay extra for traffic sign recognition or rear parking sensors. And things like lane keep assist, adaptive cruise control, they're just not available at all.
Wow, really? In 2024?
Yep. It goes back to that purist philosophy. Porsche clearly wants the driver to be fully engaged, not relying on electronic nannies. It's part of the car's character.
That certainly makes a statement. How about reliability? Porsches generally have a good reputation, right?
They do. J.D. Power rates the whole 911 range, including the GT3, as superb, gave it an 89 out of 100 overall and a 91 for quality and reliability. So owners seem pretty happy.
Any known issues? Recalls?
At the time the review was written, no recalls listed for the 2024 model specifically, but the 2023 model did have 4 recalls, things related to the windshield bonding, airbags, and brake lights. So, worth keeping an eye on like any car.
And the warranty?
Pretty standard for the class. 4 years or 50,000 miles for both the basic limited warranty and the powertrain. Plus, they throw in the first scheduled maintenance visit, 1 year or 10,000 miles for free.
Okay, so putting it all together, where does the GT3 stand against rivals? The review mentioned the Corvette Z06 and Lamborghini Huracan Tecnica.
Right. The Z06 is cheaper, offers incredible V8 performance. The Huracan Tecnica is more expensive, more exotic, V10 drama, both great cars. But the CarBuzz verdict really nails the GT3's unique appeal. They call it a masterstroke, and the most well-rounded model for that traditional Porsche enthusiast.
The one who wants that naturally aspirated, maybe manual experience back.
Exactly. It captures that magic, but crucially, it does it while still being usable enough for the road, unlike maybe the GT3 RS. It's track-capable, daily drivable, relatively speaking, and just provides that incredible sensory experience with the engine and handling. A superb supercar that's also surprisingly approachable to drive hard.
So it really does sound like a unique package. That blend of a truly glorious engine, the choice of transmissions, the track-home chassis, but then wrapping it in something you could actually use. Maybe not every single day, but often.
Yeah, it's a masterclass in focus. They knew exactly what they wanted to build and what they were willing to leave out to achieve it.
It really makes you think about what sports car perfection means. Is it the raw numbers? The tech? Or is it something more elemental.
I think that's the perfect takeaway. This car deliberately prioritizes certain things that end in the handling feel, the driver involvement, even at the expense of features we expect elsewhere now. So the question for you, the listener, is what parts of that focused approach, maybe even the things it doesn't have, make the 2024 Porsche 911 GT3 perfect or not for you?
A great question to ponder. What does perfection mean to you behind the wheel? Definitely something to think about until our next deep dive.